everybody. Those who are here in the audience, welcome, welcome. And for those who are live streaming, welcome. And for those who have joined us for the first time, welcome. We are so glad that you've joined us this evening. Now, we're back in person, and so there's a little new norm. I know our community loves hugging, but we want to make sure that everyone feels safe and comfortable. So before you hug anybody, make sure you ask. And that there's lots of alternatives. You can do, the fist bump or the toe tap or the namaste or even just like a little heart send. Lots of ways to greet each other with love. We are here with our TLC. That is Teach the Principles, Live the Love, and Change the World. And that's what we're here to do today. My name is Rachel Dilling, and I am a spiritual practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living of Southern Nevada. And I'm going to lead us in prayer, affirmative prayer. Take a deep breath in with me. And release. Knowing that God is all there is. All-knowing, all-powerful, all-present. God is the sun and the moon and the stars. God is love and beauty. God is abundance. God is truth. God is all there ever has been and ever will be. There is only one life, and that life is God life. And that life is my life right now. I am a perfect expression of God. I am the universal energy that flows in and of and through all things. That is who and what I am. And in this knowingness, I declare right here and right now that this service is blessed. That we come together today to co-create this amazing event, knowing that people are inspired, that we learn, that we grow, that we connect, we feed our souls, feed our hearts, feed our minds, expanding, discovering. For all of this, I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I release my word into the law, knowing it is done, done, done. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And now it's time to shift our energy. Now it's time to express ourselves. Now it's time to make sure your cell phones are off and that the doors are shut so you can be immersed in this next experience, which is our music. So we're now going to release all that doesn't work for us. We're going to let go of all that doesn't serve us, and we're going to embrace the raising and the praising that is about to happen. So now we raise the praise. Yay!
That's right, we're gonna raise the praise. So glad to see everybody. So glad to be back here. So come on, everybody, put your hands together. Stand up, come on, stand up here. Let's have some fun. Yeah, check it out now. Well now. Yeah. Rock, let me tell you how it goes now. Yeah, I say now. Yeah. Listen here now, everybody, check it out. Take a look at the person next to you. Hey, say God loves you, I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Say lift your voice and repeat after me. Everybody, we come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together.
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 In the name of love. Come on now. Come on, put your hands together. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, check it out now. Take a look at the person next to you.
Tell the person next to you.
Recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
Now feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love. We come together.
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 In the name of love. If you walk upright,
walk upright.
give it up one more time for Mr. Leon C. If it's okay, we're gonna keep this party going. So do me a favor and just do this. Clap your hands, yeah. Listen, in this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see that there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love in this moment. Say, in this moment, in this place. I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes to see. Oh, there is only space. Love. There is only love. Love that heals. Love that sets me free. There is only love. Oh, there is only space. All there is love. Say love that heals. Love that sets me free. There is only. Oh, let's take it up one time. There is only love. I profess and I proclaim today. Say love that heals. Oh, sets me free. There is only love. Oh, there is only love. All there is love. Say love that heals. Love that sets me free. There is only love. One time can we say there's only love. There's only love. Say love that heals. Love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. There is only
Take it to church.
Donnie Lee, everybody.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. How are you all tonight?
Great.
Ah, that was the loudness I wanted. Thanks. Okay, so my name is Teresa, and I'm here to give you guys a few announcements today. I'm a volunteer here as well as a member. So we are asking that you do continue to pray for our world. Be certain to look out for upcoming info regarding groups and classes in the fall. Check your e-blasts. Also, we are doing other things in the morning times, morning mindset in minutes, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Also, we do have, if you're looking for any more spiritual dialogue, our Thursday Power Hour is on a summer break, but we will be resuming again in September. For details, again, look at your e-blasts or go to the website at www.cslsn.org. If you are not getting our e-blasts, also again, go to www.cslsn.org and fill out the section for our e-blast/newsletter. If you have any questions or need any help, you can also call us during the week at 702-4 485-5050. Let's keep on connecting both virtually and now in person. We are also live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. See the Centers for Spiritual Living website again, which is www.cslsn.org, or your e-blast for further details and information with regards to those. And now, Donnie Lee, back to you.
Very good. Thank you, Teresa. How many of you know that we're expressions of God?
Yes.
Which means we're one with the divine, yes?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to do me a favor. Turn to someone and say, I am one with the infinite.
I am one with the infinite.
Tell them, say, I am one with the divine.
I am one with the divine.
And therefore, I am golden.
Golden.
I'm taking my freedom, taking it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it round my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go. It will take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden. I'm holding on to my freedom, putting it in my song, singing it loud and strong, grooving all day. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my step. I'll be high stepping, y'all, letting the joy unfold. Living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden. It's the only way to live. I am living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. This is my truth. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden. Oh, living my life like it's golden, 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 'cause it is. I'm living my life like it's golden.
And that was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Shall we give another round of applause for Mr. Donnie Lee with that powerful, wonderful voice? Yes. I'm trust live streamers that you are enjoying this music as well. And we have some other things in store for you. Thank you for being here. I'm Reverend Venetia Wills Lefroy, and we are I'm going to share actually with you our yearly theme. Living like Spirit is my source. And our July theme is Living like Spirit is my source, co-creating with affirmative prayer. And we have a panel to this month, and our panel has just arrived. Yes, indeed. And so we have Reverend Cynthia Ambreeze. Did I get it right? All right.
Sure did.
Thank you. And about to be Reverend
Not
Rachel
quite there yet.
Not quite there yet, but you're getting there. Rachel Dilling, and she's also a practitioner. And I'm going to ask them to say a little something about themselves, and we're going to start with Reverend Cynthia.
So it's so nice to be here with you today.
My name is Reverend Cynthia Ambreeze, you got that right. I am an agape minister. I graduated from the inaugural class of the Michael Bernard Beckett School of Ministry almost 2 years ago. We moved to Las Vegas from California almost 2 years ago, and we are really, really, really loving Las Vegas. So it's my joy to be here with you. I'm also a spiritual therapist. I have a counseling practice, and I'm also a spiritual best practitioner, which is, it helps people clear subconscious interference for healing and transformation.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm Rachel Dilling, and as you've already said, I'm a practitioner for the Center for Spiritual Living of Southern Nevada. I'm also a ministerial student. I am by trade a hospice chaplain, and I am currently, actually, I was born and raised here in Las Vegas, and I currently live here too. Thank you.
Yes, she's a native.
Yes. Very few.
All right then, so we're going to start our panel off with a quote by Ernest Holmes. And this quote is from the Science of Mind textbook, page 101, paragraph 3. We must consciously know that we can use creative power. We must consciously know that we can use creative power. The more complete such acceptance on our part, the more completely we shall be able to use this power for definite purposes. And our top question is, what is spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer? What is spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer? And we're going to start with Reverend Cynthia.
Thank you. So, coming from Agape, I learned how to pray a little differently from CSL. We have 6 steps, and we start with gratitude. And I remember when I first learned how to pray, the only real example I had was listening to Reverend Michael from the pulpit, and I didn't realize there were steps. I hadn't been exposed to that information. So when someone asked me to pray, thank you, I just tried to mimic what I saw from the stage. And the practitioner that was teaching me how to pray was so kind. She says, it really doesn't matter what you say, how you say it, so long as you have the feeling.
Yes.
And of course, I still ended up learning the steps to prayer.
Of course, if you're going to be a good student, right? And I don't know if anyone could see that, but she touched her heart, meaning that what you're praying for and what you're saying is really felt in your heart. So thank you for that. And Rachel.
So the teachings of Centers for Spiritual Living, there we go. Centers for Spiritual Living, or religious science, there's actually 5 steps, which is a little different. So we start off with an acknowledgement of what God is and all that God is, and that's one of my important steps for me when I'm doing it, because it really gets me centered in what the reality of life is. And then the next step is to connect me to the source, and so I acknowledge that I am from the source, in the source, as the source, that I am a perfect expression of this source. That takes us to the 3rd step, which is the declaration of what we're doing. That's why it's called affirmative prayer, is because this is the place where we affirm what it is we want to see. And, you know, if you go back to even the Bible and Jesus explains prayer, there is a declaration. There, you know, the Father's prayer is all about, this is happening. I will get my food. I will, you know, forgive others as I forgive myself. I will do these things. It's not a beseechment. So step 3 is the declaration. Step 4 is gratitude and thanksgiving, and so that's about where we go. We're very grateful because we know that gratitude is one of those feelings that are the most powerful feeling in the world. So if we can be in that place of gratitude, we are creating positive things in our life regardless of anything else. And then our last one is to release it, because I am not the creator of my life. The Lord or the God or the universal energy or whatever you want to call it, that's the creator of life. So once I have done all of these things and I release that into that universal energy, I know that it's taken care of. And you know, there's that old saying, if you go back and you try to dig up the carrots, they won't grow. So we let the carrot, whatever they do in the ground, and it grows, and then we can take it and we can eat it. But if we keep digging it up, it won't grow. So that is our 5 steps for the Center for Spiritual Living of Southern Nevada, as well as the whole of religious science.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Rachel. And I want you to take note of the energy that she had when she said that. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that in a few minutes here, or just a moment here, rather. So what makes spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer, a different type of prayer? Why is it different? Reverend Cynthia?
And what comes to mind when you say, why is it different? What I can compare it to perhaps was what I was exposed to in Catholicism growing up, right? Where it's like, God, please bring me this, please give me that, right? The pleading, the asking, the begging sometimes. And when I was first exposed to affirmative prayer, I thought it was revolutionary. Because here we are affirming that it's all been given already. And so we're making way, we're making ourselves available for the kingdom of heaven that's already been given to be experienced in and through our lives by declaring it, affirming it, making it welcome.
Very true. Very, very true. Thank you for that. And Rachel?
Well, I think I've already mentioned all the things that are coming to mind, right? It's about the feeling. It's about the declaration versus the beseeching. It's about the knowingness, the trust, the faith. It's different than, so I grew up not in a religious environment, but a very spiritual environment. So I never learned how to pray in the Christian way, if you will. And not that that's a bad thing, because there is some very strong, I mean, I do the rosary with people all the time, and there is some power in that bead prayer. Oh my gosh. But when I learned how to do affirmative prayer, I remember going through the steps and thinking, that's it? Really? That's all? I already do that. Who knew? Right? So it was really amazing to be able to put it all together, and it all goes back to the way you feel. It goes back to your belief and your emotional reaction to your declaration. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Thank you.
And there's a couple other things that come to mind for me that makes spiritual mind treatment different, or affirmative prayer. And that is that it's said in the present tense. It's not said in the future. It's not said in the past. It's said in this moment right now that you exist in. And sometimes that's hard to do because we're so used to speaking either in the past or projecting in the future. And so it's a very powerful moment when you can speak in the moment and speak in the present tense.
May I add something?
Sure.
So when you were saying that, my thought is sometimes it's hard to get there. As an individual, it's hard to get there, and that's one of the reasons we have spiritual counselors and we have practitioners, because sometimes we need somebody else to see us bigger than we see ourselves.
True. And you can do a treatment for that. You can actually do an affirmation before you do the affirmation for what you really want. You can do an affirmation to get your mind right, to get your mind set, to release whatever that belief is that's holding you back, or to affirm, do an affirmative prayer to realize, to recognize what is that belief that's holding me back. Because if we don't ask it, it's not going to come knocking on our door and say, here I am, rotten belief, here I am, recognize me. So, yes, thank you so much for that. And we have many more questions. We have some questions from one of our members as well that we'll be asking a little bit later. For right now, what made you really believe in spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer? What made you believe in it? Reverend Cynthia?
When I started working with affirmative prayer and these teachings, I showed up carrying 38 years worth of unhealed emotional trauma. And the amount of healing that was taking place throughout every class, every 6 weeks, the transformation that was happening that almost felt easy. It was like miracle after miracle after miracle.
I like hearing that. So a lot of times people still don't believe in miracles, and yet they do happen all the time, all around us.
I prayed for a partner, and like 5 minutes later, he came walking out of service and said, "You look so beautiful in that white dress," and he's sitting over there.
I love it. Right there, in form. Love it. And Rachel, what are your thoughts about this?
I have a similar story. Actually, I was a single mom. I was living in a place of anxiety and fear. And when I learned about the spiritual mind treatment, I was able to get myself out of that fear, one. find a job that was wonderful, and then reconnect with a gentleman who actually lived in Virginia, that we went there for spring break, hadn't talked to him in 23 years, and we have now been happily married for 12. So prayer works.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And so we're going to move on to the next question. Does spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer, help with fear? So does spiritual mind treatment help with fear? And Rachel's already tapped on that a little bit. How about we start with Rachel, since she's opened the door to that?
Yes, I remember sitting in class with from one of my very first classes with the center, and the professor, the instructor, saying, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "To learn, to grow, to be better." And then I realized it's because I live in this constant fear of not enough, of what ifs, of how am I going to screw up my kid? And through the affirmative prayer, I was able to release the fear. I was able to bring into my life. And the biggest thing is having something to lean into.
Mm-hmm.
That it's not about me. It's not about what my littleness can do, but stepping into something that's greater than me and allowing whatever that force is to guide me and to help me and to support me and to have faith that no matter what's going on,
It's going to be okay.
okay. I was just reminded of, some of you may or may not know Reverend Kate Murphy. She passed away a couple of years ago. And one of the things she used to say to me is, it all works out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out, it's not the end. And so I live by that.
That's a very good saying. Yes, Reverend Kate. Nice to hear her name, actually. All right, then. Oh, I'm sorry. Reverend Cindy. Thank you.
So, a funny note, I was deathly afraid of public speaking. I was the student in class that never raised her hand because I would start sweating profusely and shaking if people were looking at me and they called on me to share. So when I got the call to ministry, I said, "You cannot ask me for that, God. Anything but that." And I was actually on a hike in Sedona, and a thunderstorm showed up, and I argued with God for 6 hours because I did not want to do it because of the fear. And Reverend Michael showed up in a dream that night, and he says, "As you walk, you will heal." And being that I had been on a healing journey, I said, really, I have to do this thing that I'm afraid of as a part of my healing process? And now I enjoy it so much. So yes, prayer works.
Yes, it does.
It's the same journey that Moses took. He was afraid of public speaking as well, remember?
I heard he stuttered.
He did.
Little history tip. I didn't know that about Moses, so thank you for that. I don't know when I started believing in science of mind or spiritual mind treatment. What I do know is that I felt like it was already a part of me. And so when it comes to fear, I have used it a lot. And I've had some big challenges in my life where I've used affirmative prayer to assist me in getting through it. And affirmations also do help as well. And so sometimes if fear has grabbed a hold of me, because no one is immune from it, no one, treatment is my answer. It truly is. And if I cannot do it for myself, I have some people that I can call and ask. And so I definitely invite you to visit, make an appointment, talk to for a moment, whatever it might be for you, with a practitioner or a spiritual therapist, because it does make a big difference. You know, we want to do this by ourselves, and yet we weren't created that way. We really weren't. So we're here. We're supposed to be a tribe. We're supposed to be a community. So we need to assist each other. All righty, so we have, this is the one. This is the one from the memory that I promised you. Can you change the past with affirmative prayer? Can you change the past with affirmative prayer? Reverend Cindy's ready.
Like I shared with you, I arrived at these teachings with 38 years worth of pain and trauma. And I just finished writing a book that'll be published in September, and it's called Life finds a way.
Mm.
And it has like the image of the little plant growing through the crack in the concrete. Because life is persistent. And once we arrive at this place of healing, it had a way of reframing my entire life.
Yes.
And it revealed to me the grace that was present at every step of the way that led to here. So yes, it does change your past. It makes it something that empowers you. It gives you this place of knowingness beyond any kind of doubt. It's like I can speak with authority almost on anything now because of the experiences and the grace.
Mm.
So,
Yes. We are an expert at our own lives, aren't we? Whether we want to take ownership for it or not, that's for sure. Rachel.
So oddly enough, not oddly enough, but there is actual studies that have been done, and they're inconclusive at this point, but they are saying that yes, you can actually change the past through prayers as well as through clear intention. So you can look up those studies. Now, the way I look at it is, if we're talking about our personal past, I would totally agree with you. There's a program or I can't think of the word. NLP, I was going to talk about therapy. There we go. I'll say therapy. A therapy called NLP, which is neuro-linguistic processing and programming. And what it does is it gives you the opportunity to go back into your timeline, shifting and changing those things that don't work for you. We know that memory is, every time you pull your memory up, that it shifts and changes. The memory that you think that you have is actually not the actual memory because it's already shifted and changed in your mind. So why not change it to something that works for you versus something that doesn't work for you?
Very true.
So yes, we think we can change the past through scientific evidence, and yes, you can go into your own mind and change your past to change your future.
You can definitely change your perspective. You can change your belief, which then will also assist you in seeing your past in a different way. Similar to what they're both saying, that you'll see it in a different way. You'll see it as an empowerment. You'll see it as a journey. You'll see it as what I like to call an experience. It's an experience you're supposed to have. So what is it that you can get out of that experience is the question. And what am I to get out of this? Because sometimes I ask God a lot about that, so it just depends. And then our final question is, what is the most unexpected result from your spiritual mind treatment, also known as affirmative prayer? So what is something that you didn't expect that occurred as a result of affirmative prayer? Reverend Cynthia?
I'm laughing at
I'm trying to pick one.
There's that many. I love that. I love that.
One of the, I usually pray first thing in the morning. My practice is to get up, read some inspirational literature, meditate and pray. And when we were in the process of looking for a house at one point, the real estate came back and said, you need additional funds, which I did not have. I did some forgiveness work because Reverend Michael had talked about how sometimes our finances are tied to any unforgiveness. So I started going through every area of my life, doing some forgiveness work. And then Jesse, my husband, comes upstairs from the mailbox with a $20,000 check that we were not expecting.
I love that. All right. Do you deliver anywhere else? And Rachel.
I actually have a similar story that I was going to share, but I won't share that one because you just shared, because that money stuff works. It really does. When you're clear on what you want. So the most unexpected. So I know. I was being called to ministerial school. And I'm like, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. If you want me to do this, talking to God, if you want me to do this, then you need to figure out a way to give me time and give me money that I can go and I can do this. About a month later, I got a phone call from 2 different hospices. Now, mind you, I've never been a chaplain before this, and again, Reverend Kate, I gotta love her, she had said, you'd be great at it, you should do it, would you think about it? I'm like, I'll think about it, sure. So I got 2 phone calls on one day for interviews to become a chaplain. They both hired me, which gave me the time and the money to shift what I was doing before so that I could go to ministerial school. Blew me away. I was making more money, working less time, and still being able to go to school. It was a miracle.
Awesome. Very, very good. I'm like you, I don't know where to begin. There was one situation that always pops up in my head, and that is, and I was newer in Signs of Mine at the time. And I was part of this organization, and they were giving away a $400 tuition for something. And I said in my head what I wanted. And then I put my hand, everybody's supposed to take a turn to pull the card. I pulled the card, and it was the tuition. And I didn't have a lot of energy on it. That was the thing that surprised me. It wasn't like I wanted, I needed. It wasn't. It was just that, oh, okay, this is what I decided. It was that simple. And I never will forget the power of that. And one of my friends looked at me, and she got mad at me. So of course she got it. So it was a fun moment as well as a surprising moment as well. So, all right then. Well, we have come to all of our answers. Is it time for us to stop yet? Very good. All right. Well, I thank both of you. Thank you, Reverend Cynthia.
Thank
you,
you.
Rachel.
Thank you.
And I trust you will come again.
Absolutely.
All righty. All right. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Great exchange, great questions, and great answers. I trust you got some insight from that. Made you think a little differently. And know that even if you don't know how to do affirmative prayer yet, as Rachel and Reverend Cynthia both spoke about, just speak from your heart. And then if you truly want to learn the steps, go to one of the centers and ask. Sometimes you can do it through a class. Sometimes someone's willing to meet with you and teach you. It just depends. So be open, and maybe you'll get surprised by how that happens. All right then. So let us move into the next segment, which is meditation. And so we're going to go within. We're going to close our eyes. That's good. You're shifting your seats to get comfortable. Very good. Live streamers, the same for you. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. And everyone just simply focus on your breath. Just do your normal breathing and just focus on the gentleness of it. And then allow it to deepen. So expand that abdomen and deepen that breath. And then release it. And expand that release. And continue breathing deeply. And then exhaling deeply and releasing all that you can. And just continue doing that. And as you do that, you are engaged in what is called mindfulness. Mindfulness breath. And just be right here. And give gratitude for that breath. That is your life force. It is the gift from the infinite. And now I'm going to move you into a guided meditation. So just listen to my voice. And you have the choice to follow it or to just allow something else to unfold for you. I'd like for you to just see yourself as a child. Just allow yourself to see yourself as a child at any age. And have that child remember the first time seeing someone pray. It might have been your mom, it might have been your grandmother, your great-grandmother, or your favorite aunt. It might have been someone you didn't really know. You could have been sitting on a bus stop praying and you noticed it with your mom or your dad. You weren't sure what was going on necessarily, or maybe you did know. You were already exposed to prayer and you knew. Now see yourself a little older. Are you praying? Maybe you'll see yourself praying, or maybe you won't. Just depends on what was going on in your life at that time. Just allow yourself to experience what comes up. It might be a feeling, you might actually see a picture of yourself or an image of yourself. Were you comfortable with prayer? Or did you find it challenging? Maybe you were puzzled by it. You know, I see yourself as a young adult. Are you praying? Or maybe you talk to God and you don't realize that that's a prayer as well. And now see yourself older. And allow an answer to emerge from this question. What does prayer mean to me now? And whatever the answer is, or perhaps you haven't gotten an answer yet, it will come. It will come later. It might be washing the dishes or driving, and it'll just come. And you'll know that it's the answer. And so I invite you to simply focus on your breathing again and be with your breath as we enjoy this musical interlude. And now just allow yourself to be in the silence for the next 2 minutes. And just be in this moment. allow this silence to wash over you, knowing that you can return to it at any time. And that the gift of it is to just simply be present. And now in this space, we're going to move into affirmations. I ask that you continue with your eyes closed and to just simply listen to the affirmations first, and then I will invite you to repeat after me. I am consciously using the creative power within me. I am consciously affirming what I desire. I am consciously accepting all that I affirm. And you can either remain with your eyes closed and repeat after me, or you're welcome to open your eyes. And when we say this together, or after you repeat after me, I encourage you to say it with power, to say it with energy, to say it with a clarity and a determination that you definitely deserve this. I am.
I am.
Consciously using the creative power within me. All right, you got to feel it. So now let's feel it some more. Let's say it again with a little bit more emphasis. I am consciously using the creative power within me. All right. I am consciously affirming what I desire. I am consciously accepting all that I affirm. Very good. All right. And so now we are going to have the pleasure of experiencing something new. It's just happening recently, and we're calling it our new edition, and it is an affirmation chant by Donnie Lee.
Thank you. Okay, so there's something special that happens when we put words to music. It sinks deeper into the brain and into the soul. So we're going to do that now with this affirmation, which means I have to teach you your part. So, first line, I'm going to sing a line and then I want you to sing it back to me. Is that okay? Yes. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Very good. Okay, here we go. First line goes, I am consciously using, that's the first half, sing. I am consciously using. Okay, next part goes, the creative power within me. Let me hear you say, the creative power within me. Let's put that first line together. Here we go. I am consciously using the creative power within me. Right? Okay, very good. That's beautiful. Next line. I am consciously affirming. Here you go, your turn. I am consciously affirming what I desire. Sing. What I desire. All right, let's put those two together. Here we go. I am consciously affirming what I desire. Yeah, okay, next part. I am consciously accepting. Let me hear you say. I am consciously accepting. Now it goes, all that I affirm. Here we go. All that I affirm. Last part goes, Amen, Amen, Ashe, and so it is. Here we go. Amen, Ashe, I am consciously using the creative power within me. I am consciously affirming what I desire. I am consciously accepting all that I affirm. Amen, amen, ashe, and so it is. Last line, one more time. Amen, ashe, ashe, and so it is. One more time, till you say amen, 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 ashe, and so it is.
Oh, that was just beautiful. That just really morphed that affirmation. Thank you so much for that. It was beautiful. I trust that all of you felt that as well. I mean, it deepened within me. I trust it deepened within you as well. All right. And so now that we are feeling the sound and the words of what Donnie has just done, it puts us in a wonderful place, in a place that leads us to giving of ourselves. And so there are many ways that you can give to the Center for Spiritual Living Southern Nevada. And I'm going to share some of those ways. One is our website, www.cslsn.org, cslsn.org. You can text Tithe 702-666-0641. And then there's Cash App. And Cash App, you would use the $, capital letters, CSLSN. And then for Zelle, there is Center for Spiritual Living, SO, S-O, Inc., I-N-C, or something simpler, info@cslsn.org. And then we have the thing that many of us grew up with called mail, and that is P.O. Box 50435, Henderson, Nevada, 89016. And so now we are going to enjoy the musical interlude by Donnie Lee as we prepare our giving. And thank you. And now we have Reverend Ambrose, who will do our blessing.
We give thanks for you and your expression of love through your sacred giving. We bless you and your offering. We bless the journey of your life, knowing it is filled with creative expressions of abundance from our infinite source. We bless your sacred giving.
We are so glad you joined us this evening. It's so wonderful to have you here, whether you're live streaming or you're here in person. So grateful. We want to say thank you to all of our music team, So we have Donnie and Leon. Yay, they did a fabulous job. We're so grateful for every volunteer that put their finger in the pot to make this thing happen tonight. We cannot do it without everybody's help. It's just impossible. We are so grateful for the Center for Spiritual Living of Southern Nevada's spiritual leadership team. Yes, I'm included in that. Yay for me. And we are so grateful for the Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living for sharing their space with us on Wednesday nights, or the one Wednesday night a month, right? So now let's end our service tonight with prayer. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and release. Oh, knowing that God is all there is. God is love and beauty. God is everything. The sun, the moon, the stars, the life, the light. It is the abundance of the universe. And even more than that, it is each one, each bright light that is consciousness. It is everything. And I know that I am of and from and in and as this universal energy. It flows through me, as me, expressing. And as I know this is the truth of me, I know it is the truth of everyone. Everyone hears my voice, everyone that exists. So I declare in this knowingness that there is peace on earth, that there is love on earth, that there is truth in the knowingness of abundance. I bless all that have been here tonight, all that are viewing this right now, knowing that it is all good because it is all God. I am so very grateful for the coming together tonight, for the connection, the learning, the inspiration, asking the questions and finding answers. I am so very grateful. And as we close our evening, I know that we are restful, that we sleep thoroughly and soundly and wake in the morning to the glory of a new day. Thank you. I release my word into the law, knowing it is done, done, done. So it is. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you.
I am consciously using the creative power within me. Everybody say, I am consciously affirming what I desire. I am consciously accepting all that I affirm. Amen, amen, Ashe, and so it is. One more time, rest the down, say, I am consciously using the creative power within me. I am consciously affirming what I desire. I am consciously accepting all that I affirm. Amen, Ashe, amen, Ashe, and so it is. Everybody say blessed, 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 blessed. Lift your voice like you mean it. Say blessed, 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 blessed. Say blessed, 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 blessed. Say blessed, blessed, blessed. Oh, we're blessed. Say we're blessed in the city. We're blessed in the field. We're blessed when we come and when we go.
Well, for me, Foundations has solidified a lot of the beliefs that I believed that I had in the beginning. It has confirmed for me, or been a confirmation of the Spirit for me.
We're blessed when we come and when we go. We cast out sickness and poverty, for the truth has been for the truth has been revealed. Oh, we are blessed. Say blessed, 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 blessed. Say blessed, blessed, blessed. If you feel it, say blessed, blessed, blessed. Say blessed, blessed, blessed. Say blessed, blessed, blessed. Oh, listen, say I'm blessed, and I know it, I know it. I'm not afraid to show it. Say oh, 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 oh. Sing it again. I'm blessed, and I know it, I know it. I'm not afraid to show it. Say oh, 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 oh. We're blessed, sing. We're blessed in the city. We're blessed.
The foundations class gave me a basis of understanding my own inner strength and spirituality to get through some very rough times in my life right now.
It has helped me to heal. It has helped me to have gratitude for the things I already have. It has helped me with forgiveness. And it's helped me to be open to giving and receiving love.
It's working out.